Guys, it's come to my attention that I have not walked y'all step by step through how I personally style my mustache. So today, that's what we're going to do. When it comes to styling, you're going to need three main things. First of which is going to be your comb. Today we're going to use the necklace comb from Deathgrip. Secondly, you're going to want a heat source for your pre-shaping and warming of the wax if you have a heat-activated wax. And lastly, of course, is going to be your actual mustache wax. Today I'm going to be using some Bone Crusher. It is a heat-activated, extra strong, extra firm mustache wax. When it comes to styling a mustache, pre-shaping is everything. What I have right now is a loose curl I put together earlier today. So what I'm going to do right now is take my heat source and reshape my mustache to better take the wax. So what I just did was open my curls out just a little bit and have that mustache sit just a little bit higher on my face. So when I apply the wax, the mustache will be up as opposed to down and covering the mouth a bit. Now with the pre-shaping out of the way, what you want to do is take your wax and heat it up however the instructions are. For Bone Crusher, we will need an external heat source to get it pliable. Remember, Bone Crusher and Deathgrip are for serious mustaches only. That might sound like a joke, but if you're not used to using wax, I would not start with these waxes. When heating your wax up, I like to make sure it's got a bit of a shine to it. You don't want it completely melted because it makes it so much harder to apply and spread out. So making it just enough to be pliable is what you're after. Once you have it warmed up, take your mustache pick and you're just going to scrape out small amounts of wax until you have something that you're comfortable with. I use a lot more wax than what the tin recommends, mainly because the wax runs out so quick if I only use a pea-sized amount. So now that you've scraped it, take it off of the pick and you can rub it between your first three fingers. And you'll see that it spreads out evenly and will not be tacky and separate across the fingers. The wax will stay on them. Now let's apply the wax to the hairs. I don't want to pinch my hairs, so I like to pull it out straight. Starting under my nose, I will pinch and pull the wax across. Pinch and pull. The trick here is to make sure this part of the mustache gets heavily waxed. This is what's going to help hold the shape of the curl or the English or whatever style you're doing. So making sure you get this center part is critical. Now that I have the first layer of wax, I want to take the remaining wax off of my hand. I just use an old rag. You can use paper towels, an old t-shirt, the dog, whatever you got. The main thing, you don't want your fingers tacky as you go to comb and reshape the hair. Now what you want to do is take your comb and start spreading that wax deep into the hair and across the hairs. So starting under my nose, getting that comb all the way in. And then just going all the way out to the end of the mustache. I like to come on the back side and comb that through as well. What this is doing is pushing the wax into the center part of your mustache, so your entire mustache is coated in wax and not just a shell of wax around the hair. After you comb it, your hairs will be spread apart. I like to get my rough shape going after I comb it. What this does is allow the hairs to stand on top of each other as opposed to being twisted or spiraled together. Remember, when you shape your mustache, it's not about twisting, it's about bending. Now that I have a good rough shape on this side, I'm going to let this cool, and I'm going to start doing the same thing to the other side of my mustache. And while you're shaping your mustache, feel free to reheat your wax as you see fit. Now note, I am using quite a bit of wax. I recommend starting off with smaller amounts. It's always easier to apply more wax than it is to take it out. While you're styling your mustache, don't get too worked up about the flyaway hairs that you have. We'll come back and address those during the second coat of wax. So now we've applied the wax to the second half of the mustache. Now what we need to do is comb it out. Note that I'm not combing enough to really take hairs out. You might get the occasional shedding, so if you're losing a hair, don't worry too much. Now we'll give general shape to the other side. Now we have a general shape to our mustache. Next, we want to apply a second layer of wax. We're not going to put as much on because we just want a little bit of extra hold and allow us to kind of reshape the mustache as we want to. For the second pass of wax, you can see I use about half of what I started with. This way I'm not wasting wax and I can just get a little bit of extra hold for the style I'm after. Still wanting to recoat this center part, making sure we catch these flyaway hairs at the end or along the mustache. So now that we've caught the flyaway hairs, giving it a little extra strength, we're going to finish up the shaping on this side. And remember, when it comes to shaping the mustache, it's about bending the hair, not twisting it. So I bend it into that nice curl. Now we're going to apply wax and do the same thing on the other side. Now that I have the second layer of wax, I like to fold my hairs backwards like a taco. Doing this gives you two things. One, it's going to add a little bit of strength to the overall mustache. Secondly, it's going to help take away how thick that mustache is, so I can get it like one thick hair as opposed to a bunch of hairs going out. Now there's only one final step to employ. What I like to do is take my heat source and heat the wax up right under my nose, and I'll take my comb and straighten those hairs out to help break up that wax so it looks just a little bit more natural and a little bit more bushy under the nose. And with that, that's how a world champion styles his mustache. I hope you're able to take away a few tips and tricks from this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next competition.